Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kitty. On my channel we like to do a variety of things ranging from makeup, story time, lives, shopping hauls, and vlogs. If that's something you are interested in, please consider subscribing. As you can tell by the title, I am going to be reading some scary stories that you guys sent to me. If you guys like scary stories just as much as I do, make sure to watch until the very end. This first story comes from the San Carlos Apache Reservation. One night on the graveyard shift at the casino, it was very slow. Hardly any customers and nothing to do. So one of my coworkers was like, let's go for a ride on the golf carts and check the property. It was about 1 a.m. when we arrived at the golf shop at the golf course. I sat on the golf cart while my coworker got off to check the doors of the shop. He checked the east door and was shining his flashlight through the windows to see inside. When he got to the north door on the other side, out of nowhere, he just froze. He was quite a distance away and I yelled to him if he was okay. He just stood there frozen and told me, there's a little boy looking at me from the other side. The north door is the entrance to the bar side and all the tables. That boy was standing outside the west door. I didn't believe him and told him to quit BSing. He just said, F that, let's go back to the casino. I asked him, what did that boy look like? He said, definitely looked like a res kid. His hair looked like it was shaven bald, but it grew out a lot and hasn't been cut in a long time. And the way he was looking at him was like he was shy. His head was tilted down a little, but he was looking up at him. Like I said, I didn't believe him until one night. Security got a call to go to the golf shop. One of the maintenance guys needed an escort into the shop to do some work. It was around 3 a.m. and I responded to the call and checked out the keys to the shop. I arrived and the maintenance guy was freaked out. I asked him what's going on. He told me, you don't hear that? So I got quiet and tried to listen out for whatever he was hearing. It took a minute and then I heard the kids talking on the other side of the shop. Oh my gosh, that's scary. Okay, I got chills and told the maintenance guy, I hear the kids. He was like, yeah, let's go check it out. I said, yeah, because part of being in the security, you have to check the things out. So we went around the building and obviously the talking stopped. I shined my flashlight everywhere in the trees, but there was nothing. So then we went inside and I had to stay with him in the building until he was done. He was putting up new shelves. I would say around close to 4 a.m. he was working and I was playing a game on my phone. Then the maintenance guy just got scared, like really bad. He said, hey man, F that, let's just leave. I was confused and I asked him what had happened. He pointed to the office behind me and said when he looked up, he saw the bottom part of a camp dress go into that office like someone just walked in. I looked in there was no one. The maintenance guy was really scared and kept saying we should leave. I said okay and locked up the shop and we left. Ooh, that's creepy. I did reach out to this person and I was like, I was curious because first of all they saw a little boy who, you know, they said his hair looked cut but then it grew out and it was like all wishy, and then the guy saw a woman in a camp dress, like the bottom part of it, you know, going to an office. And I was just kind of wondering, like, what was right there before they built the casino? Is there graveyards there that we don't know about? I don't know. My mind is just like curious. of what went on right there in that area. The person reached back out to me and said, I was just asking if they had any idea why there was kids around and the women in the camp dress, like were they from like the Geronimo days? And the person said they weren't sure, that all they know is that one of the old supervisors told them when they were building the golf course that they did find a lot of old toys out there. So definitely creepy. Okay, on to the next one. This one comes from the Navajo Nation. Yat-A Kitty, greetings. Time to time I comment and tune into you and Sierra's Auntie Time channel. I do have a scary story to share. This occurred about 11 years ago. Me and my mother were crazy enough to hit up the Arizona Cardinals game in December of 2011. Tickets were a gift from my aunt and her husband at the time, so we chanced it. Kind of a last minute thing heading to Glendale. The Cards won, so yay. Made our way back up north, going through Payson. Sure enough, snow started coming down. Guess you can say it was poor planning on our part and not prepping for the weather. Fortunately, we had a front-wheel drive sedan to get us through the treacherous conditions, especially on the rim rock as we made our way up slowly, but took forever. Anyways, roads were slick, so what can you do? As we got through the rim and heading towards Heber, snow kept falling. Next, we could have sworn we saw a mysterious dark figure jumping from an side on top of those pine trees you see off the highway to the next or the other end of the pine trees. That's freaking creepy. Those pine trees are pretty well spread apart. So if something is jumping like that onto trees, I would be freaked out. It was odd and bananas on what we just witnessed. In a way, it reminded us of The Predator, if you've seen it with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the ability to move at a rapid pace and somewhat camouflage or superior than any human being. That's the best way I can describe that creature or dark figure. As years went on, me and my mother still pondered on what we witnessed that night. She had the impression it was an Apache Yanadloshi that night, meaning an Apache dead or evil spirit. Can't say for sure if it was a witch or not. Doubt they like to lurk in the cold. I know you mentioned in one of your videos that you don't believe in that stuff, or the Yanadloshi, meaning evil, dead, taboo spirit coming to life. Doesn't derive from your culture. Anywho, that's the end of the story, or thought I'd pass along to you, whether you believe it or not. Lately, I've been getting into another channel that involves mysterious things occurring at recreational parks or ominous deities being transpired there. Have a good day and night. Love your channel. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. I never said I wasn't a believer. If I was not a believer, you best believe I would not be telling these types of stories. I am a firm believer in the paranormal, supernatural type stuff. I have experienced Yanadloshi type things on the Navajo reservation, even though I am Apache. What I said was, I've never heard of that type of stuff. As far as the skinwalker type stuff, never heard of that on my res, but I'm just one person. Who knows? It could be going on. I really don't know. I always assumed it was a Navajo thing, but I do believe in it. Never said I don't believe in it. So let's just get that straight. Thank you for sending in your stories. You guys are really loving these stories as well as I am. Again, reading this at what, 2:13 in the morning. Why? Because my kids are sleeping. 2, I feel like this is the only time I really have to myself to film. And 3, it is nice and quiet, so do not judge me. This next story is sent in from the Navajo Nation. It is called The Sheep Rug. Back in the day when I was a toddler, my mother and father lived with my great-great-grandmother. They were in their early 20s, still young and learning. My grandmother brought the sheep rug inside after letting it dry for months outside. She laid it by her bed on the floor. She would tell my mom and dad stories about it. One night, my great-great-grandmother was taking care of errands, so she was out of the house. My dad at the time did not believe the story she told them. I guess the Navajo way, you are not supposed to mistreat or play around with the sheepskin. My mom was getting after my dad, who was playing around with the sheep rug and saying the stories are not true. My mom told my dad to sleep somewhere else because she was mad at him. LOL. Some time went by and my mom fell asleep by me on the bed. She woke to loud bangs and things moving around in the living room. She got up wondering what it was. She thought it might be my great-great-grandmother in need of help. She got up and walked slowly down the hall and opened the curtains to the living room. It was pitch dark. The light switch was by the kitchen area, which was across the living room. So my mom turned around and got a flashlight by the bedstand. She turned it on and started looking for my dad, who was not sleeping in the room. So she thought he was up to no good again and messing with her. She called out to him and said, "Stop messing around." She heard the light moaning in the living room where things were being moved. She opened the curtain again and looked in the living room. She saw that things were on the floor and the couch was moved. She stepped into the living room and looked around again. Then she heard crawling or someone jumping. She looked by the couch with the light and saw what looked like fur. She figured it's just the cat because they did have a cat. She walked to the couch and looked in the back and saw my dad on all fours with the sheep rug on his back. She yelled at him because she thought he was playing a joke on her. And I guess my dad looked up and his eyes were closed and he was making what seemed like sheep noises and started walking on all fours and jumping like a sheep. He started running out from behind the couch like a sheep and bumping into things. My mom freaked out. But at that time, my great-great-grandmother came back home and turned on all the living room lights. Speaking in Navajo, she was upset and ran to my dad and took the sheep rug off his back. My dad immediately laid down and was snoring like nothing happened. Man, I got chills. That is freaking creepy. The next morning, my dad wakes up in the living room and my great-great-grandmother starts yelling at him in Navajo. My mom was still shocked at what happened and asked my dad if he remembered anything. He said no. Why? My mom asked him what he was doing when she told him to sleep somewhere else. He told my mom and great-great-grandmother after an hour he went to bed on the floor and he got cold and covered himself with the sheep rug to stay warm. My mom and great-great-grandmother yelled at him and told him he's not supposed to be doing that. My dad was so scared after hearing what he did. He had bruises on his legs and arms. He never went by that sheep rug again. He learned his lesson. I hope you enjoy one of many stories I have to share. Ooh, that was a good one. So scary, very scary. Man, Navajos, you guys have some scary stories. That I've never heard anything like that. Just creepy, creepy, creepy. But glad everything is okay. I hope you guys are enjoying these stories just as much as I am. If you guys have multiple stories, please don't feel pressured to send every single one of them in right now. You can send one here, you can send one there, but just continue to send your stories in so we can keep these videos going. Also, if you are enjoying these videos, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing and click that bell button so that every time I upload, whether I go live or upload a video, you guys are the first ones to know. We'll see you in the next video.